Hey, afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Commissioner. How are you?
Good, good.
We have a quorum with Chairman Towns and Mr. Vallejo present. Is there a motion to call to order the 304th meeting of the members of the Housing Trust Fund Corporation?
So moved.
Seconded.
The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the 303rd meeting held on March 6, 2014. If there are no questions or comments, the minutes are deemed approved. The second item on the agenda is a resolution approving the secret documentation and classification of the environmental impact of the mill at Middletown and Monarch Senior Living. Ms. Pittsburgh.
Good afternoon. This afternoon I'm presenting two projects which I'm recommending for an unlisted negative declaration. The first is the mill at Middletown. It's an adaptive reuse of a 3-story manufacturing facility to create 42 new residential units in the city of Middletown using HTFC project-based vouchers and LIC. The second project is Monarch Senior Living. It's new construction of a 2-story building with 50 residential units in the town of Webster using HTF, LIC, and SLIC. And I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Are there any questions on this item?
Is there anything of note, Heather, that in either?
I would just note the mill at Middletown was reviewed by John Leahy in my office, and it was a very complex project that was in a floodplain and is of historic significance. And I would just like to note appreciation for Mr. Leahy's work on the project. It was very complex, and I'm very proud of the work he did.
Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
And a second?
Seconded.
The motion is carried. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing awards for economic development under the Community Development Block Grant Program. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I'm actually going to ask my colleague Ashley Levine, the Director of the Cdbg Small Business and Economic Development Program, to present this award.
This recommendation is for a New York CDBG Economic Development Award of $196,000 to the town of Oakfield to assist in the expansion of United States Gypsum Company. This project will help maintain U.S. Gypsum in the town of Oakfield and New York State versus an expansion in Michigan. It ensures the long-term security of the jobs in this location. It's part of a 3-part expansion for the company. It's the first part. It will create 12 full-time equivalents, of which 9 of those jobs, or 75%, will be made available to low and moderate income individuals. And this project leverages more than $5 million of corporate equity. New York CDBG program funds will be used to offset the machinery and equipment costs. I'd be happy to answer any questions on this project at this time.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing awards under the Community Development Block Grant Program for its housing allocation.
Great, thank you. Thank you. So before the board today are recommendations for 3 of the Office of Community Renewal's programs for housing. This is in response to a joint RFP and notice of funding availability that was released in October of 2012. We've just completed an intense round of application scoring and review for the 3 programs, the first of which is the Cdbg housing program round. So today before the board is a recommendation to advance more than $23 million in Cdbg housing awards for your review and consideration. There's some background material provided for your review in the memo in your board books. I'd just like to highlight a couple of key points. The original notice of funding availability that went out identified approximately $12 million in funds available for these activities. After thorough review of the applications, the quality of the applications, the need identified throughout the state, as well as funds available, we're nearly doubling the original allocation of funds for, again, nearly $23 million in awards recommended today. We received 72 eligible applications in response to the RFP from 39 counties and 8 regions of the state for more than $27 million in overall requests. So our recommendation today will advance 59 of those. A total of 5 are for homeownership, 54 for housing rehab, and several of them are for targeted projects, including 2 for mobile home replacement, 6 for well and septic replacement, and 3 that will help homeowners connect to local sewer and water systems with lateral connections from their homes. The leverage for this award, set of awards, is over $5 million, and this collection of awards will reach over 1,000 households and over 2,400 individuals within those households. For the record, I will submit to the board secretary a map of where the awards are allocated throughout the state to be submitted for the record and for distribution within the meeting minutes following this meeting. And if anybody's interested in seeing a copy of that, I'd be glad to share it with them. I'm happy to take any questions you have on the recommendations before the board for the Cdbg housing program at this time.
Good job. No, the map would be great, and it also plays into yesterday's conference when they were asking about us being more involved in the northern tier or North Country and southern tier. Seems like they got some quick. It was quickly addressed.
Yes, well, that's how we like to work, nice and fast. You will see that there were. The grantees won't tell you that. They've been chomping at the bit since January to know what we're going to do, but we're finally there. But you'll see that there are 14 awards in the North Country. It's actually the highest number of awards of all the regions we're providing funds to. Highest number of awards and highest number of total dollars at $5.3 million. So it's a significant investment in the North Country. I also want to just point out that where we are today is a result of a lot of hard work from a lot of people, and it doesn't start or end with me. I've asked the folks who work on the program to join us today so that I could recognize their hard work over the last 2 months of reviewing these applications and making these recommendations. So I've got Julianne Clothier here. Jennifer Teichner is not here, right? She's not here, but I want to recognize her. Denise Cannon and Charlie Fillion, who round out the community development staff for the Cdbg program. I just want to acknowledge their hard work and recognize what they contributed to get us where we are today. So,
great. Thank you, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 5 is a resolution authorizing awards under the Access to Home program.
So you get your own recognition. Thank you, Madam Secretary. I was unfortunately forgot to recognize one other individual, and that's the esteemed Andrew Griffin, who's at the head of the table here at the Salo conference room. I don't know how I missed him, but Andrew is new to the staff of Cdbg, but on his second program here with us as a trainee in the Office of Community Renewal, and doing a lot of hard work across programs, and he deserves recognition as well. So, thank you, Andrew.
Apologies.
We like to keep it light and lively here on a Friday afternoon. So before the board today is a recommendation for our fiscal year 2013 Access to Home program appropriation, and we're advancing more than $1.4 million in New York State Access to Home program awards for your review and consideration. These funds are a combination of 2013 state appropriations as well as nearly $500,000 in recaptured funds from prior years. We've finished the review and scoring of these materials, and we had 49 applications submitted from 50 counties in 10 regions of the state, and today we're advancing a recommendation of 10 awards out of the 49 received, for a total award amount of $1,455,000, which together will leverage nearly $2 million in investment. We'll reach 7 counties across the state through the awarding of these funds, and some individual municipalities as well. And just a couple of highlights for the Access to Home program. 5 of our 10 award recipients are also Neighborhood and Rural Preservation programs, so known entities to us through that. I've referenced the leverage being brought to the table as a $2.3 million leverage for our $1.5 million award. And the other programs being leveraged here include agency programs, including AHC, weatherization, and the home program. So with that, I'd just like to also recognize the staff from the Access to Home program who put in the hard work over the last few months to get us where we are today. And on the TV screen, you'll see Jerry Nagy, who is the acting director of the Access to Home program, as well as the Restore program, which is next up. He leads a great team, including Tracy Jordan, who's here in the room with us, and Jerry Morse, who I don't see in the room, but they, along with Vicki Sharp, round out the team who did the work here, so I want to acknowledge them as well and thank them for their hard work on this program.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Yep.
Are there any questions on this item?
No, for me.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing awards under the Restore program. Mr. Nelson.
Great, thank you. Before the board is a recommendation advancing $500,000 in Restore program awards. In response to the notice of funds and RFP, we received 61 applications from 43 counties in the 10 regions of the state, including one that proposed to serve multiple regions. From those 61 applications, we're advancing recommendations for 11 awards today, again totaling $500,000 in available funds. The Restore program receives an annual state appropriation of only $400,000, but we were able to identify some previous year funds to put into the mix this year to increase our awarded funds. The leverage here again exceeds the amount of awards. The leverage against these program recommendations is more than $661,000, and will reach 11 projects in 7 counties across the state, including 1 award in New York City. And same team that I just highlighted worked on this program, so I'll highlight them again and note that the board materials will include a map here as well to show the geographic distribution of both the Access to Home and Restore award recommendations being made today. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The motion is carried. Item number 7 is a resolution confirming the approval of the secret documentation and classification of the environmental impact of the Ocean Breeze buyout project. Pursuant to HTFC's bylaws, resolutions may be approved by written approval by all members. These resolutions must be confirmed at the next meeting in order to retain their effectiveness. By written approval on March 12, 2014, the members passed a resolution accepting the secret documentation for the Ocean Breeze buyout project, and the members adopted a recommendation that the project be classified as Type 1 with a negative declaration. Are there any questions on this item, or is there a request for an additional presentation on this item? Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion is carried. Item number 8 is a resolution confirming the approval of an extension of the existing housing and technical services contracts. By written approval on March 27, 2014, the members passed a resolution approving extensions of up to 3 months of the existing expiring contracts with firms for construction monitoring services, environmental review services, and consulting, engineer, and architectural services. A new RFP has been issued and is under review. This resolution is to ensure that firms are in place in the interim. Are there any questions on this item?
No question.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The motion is carried. We have one new item of business. It is a resolution appointing a secret officer for disaster recovery projects and designating the secret officer as an agent with signature authority. Mr. Connor.
This proposed resolution appoints Thomas King as the secret officer. He's from the Governor's Office for Storm Recovery. He will be given authorization under this proposed resolution to sign off on secret matters for the storm, disaster relief and storm recovery matters. Similar to what we did for the co-directors of the Governor's Office for Storm Recovery, he will have to certify for each sign-off that the matter complies with both SECRA as well as all other applicable laws and regulations. Following the sign-off, the item will be presented to the board at the next scheduled meeting as informational item. And we've reviewed this with counsel for the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, and we are all in agreement this should go before the board today.
Are there any questions on this item? Assume the same first and second as previously submitted. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion is carried. The remainder of the items are informational items and do not require board action. So the board would like to request a presentation, please do so. Otherwise, I'll just read them into the record. The first informational item is a review of SECRA Type 2 actions. The second informational item is a review of contracts executed under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program for housing activities. These include 4 agreements for the improvement and acceleration of code enforcement activities with the Village of Babylon, the Village of Freeport, the Town of Hempstead, and the Village of Massapequa Park. An agreement with MSA Investigations, an agreement with Innovative Emergency Management, Inc., an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and a contract executed with Cone Resnick under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program for public infrastructures and facilities. I've also been informed that Jamie Rubin, a director in the Office of Storm Recovery, and Melvin Galloway, the Chief Operating Officer, will be joining us in May to update the board on storm recovery activities. Lastly, in your original agenda, there was a new business item for the developer property manager survey that has been tabled. Are there any remaining questions? Is there a motion to adjourn?
There is. Thanks, everybody, for your flexibility. I'm sure everyone's aware that our board member, Marion Zucker, had a loss in her family, and thank everybody for their flexibility for making sure that we were able to get this business done. So hate to do it on a Friday, but duty called, so I thank everybody for their flexibility.
Great. Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Hey, Matthew, I got another question. I'll call you in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mark's here, so let's go.